Most people around the world don't give the Philippine military a second thought. When we think of powerful armed forces, we picture the United States, China, Russia, or NATO countries. But quietly, far from the spotlight, the Philippine military has built something unexpected. It has a long and rich history, surprising capabilities, and a reputation for courage that many outside Southeast Asia do not fully understand. Today, we're pulling back the curtain. Because what the world doesn't know about the Philippine military might just change how you see the archipelago forever. Chapter 1. Roots. Older than a nation. Before there was a Republic of the Philippines, there were already organized forces fighting for its people. During the Spanish colonization that lasted over 300 years, native Filipinos formed militias. These weren't just scattered rebels. They were structured groups defending their communities from both foreign invaders and internal conflict. By the late 1800s, the Katipunan revolutionaries gave birth to what many consider the first national army. They fought for independence against Spain, led by figures like Andres Bonifacio and Emilio Aguinaldo. The revolution wasn't just about politics. It was a military effort fueled by the desire to be free. Later, when American troops arrived and the Philippine-American War erupted, the Filipino Army adapted once again. Guerrilla warfare became their tool. Surprise raids, jungle tactics, and local knowledge helped them hold their ground. The Philippine military wasn't created in a conference room. It was born on the battlefield. Chapter 2. Unsung Heroes of World War. 2. One of the most overlooked contributions in global military history comes from Filipino soldiers during the Second World War. When Japan invaded the Philippines in 1941, tens of thousands of Filipino troops fought alongside American forces. Under General Douglas MacArthur, Filipinos made up the bulk of the United States Army forces in the Far East, also known as USAFFE. They defended Bataan. They fought in the jungles of Luzon. They held critical lines when others could not. More than 66,000 Filipino troops were captured during the fall of Bataan and forced into the Bataan Death March. Thousands died along the way from exhaustion, starvation, and abuse. But others escaped. They didn't disappear. They became guerrilla fighters. These fighters continued to resist Japanese occupation, relaying intelligence to the Allies and disrupting enemy operations. When MacArthur said, "I shall return," he meant it. And when he did, Filipino guerrillas helped him retake the country. The courage and sacrifice of these soldiers remain some of the most powerful stories in military history. Yet many of them never received the full recognition they deserved. Chapter 3. A Global Peacekeeper. Here's something surprising. The Philippine military has served in more conflict zones than you might expect. As a longtime supporter of United Nations peacekeeping efforts, the Philippines has sent troops to East Timor, Haiti, Liberia, the Golan Heights, Sudan, and several other hotspots. Filipino soldiers are known for their discipline, compassion, and adaptability. They are often placed in roles that involve both security and humanitarian work. In 2013, a group of Filipino peacekeepers stationed in the Golan Heights was surrounded by Syrian rebels. Trapped and outnumbered, they refused to surrender. They held their position under fire for 7 hours and then made a daring escape through enemy territory during the night. International media called it heroic. The Philippine military didn't just show up. They made a stand when it counted. Chapter 4. Elite Units. You never hear about many people think the Philippines doesn't have special forces. That idea is far from the truth. The Philippine Army Scout Rangers are elite jungle warriors trained for raids, ambushes, reconnaissance, and unconventional warfare. They have been battling insurgents and terrorists for decades. The Naval Special Operations Command, or NAVSOG, is the naval counterpart. Similar to the Navy SEALs, they are trained in demolition, underwater operations, and counterterrorism. These men are masters of stealth and speed. Then there's the Light Reaction Regiment. This is the country's top counterterrorism unit, formed with training and support from American and Australian forces. These soldiers are the first responders to hostage crises and terror threats. During the 2017 Battle of Marawi, these elite forces played a vital role. ISIS-linked militants had taken over a major city. The battle lasted 5 months. Room by room, street by street, Filipino forces fought to reclaim it. They used drones for surveillance, coordinated airstrikes, and employed close-quarter combat tactics. The operation was long and bloody, but they won. And yet, outside of the Philippines, few even heard about it. Chapter 5. The Battle for Marawi. The Battle of Marawi was one of the most intense urban warfare operations in Southeast Asia in modern times. In May 2017, fighters loyal to ISIS launched a surprise takeover of Marawi city. They captured government buildings, raised black flags, and took hostages. For a moment, it looked like the start of an Islamic state in the region. The Philippine military responded with a full-scale operation. Thousands of troops were deployed. Artillery, airstrikes, and tanks were brought in. The battle was fought in alleyways, rooftops, and basements. This was not just a military challenge. It was a fight for the soul of the nation. By the end of the operation, over 1,000 militants had been killed. But the military lost 168 of its own. The city was devastated, but the caliphate was stopped. The world barely noticed. But that battle may have prevented a larger terror network from gaining ground in Asia. Chapter 6. Modernizing a Nation's Defense. Many still view the Philippine military as outdated or underfunded. That image is changing rapidly. The revised AFP modernization program has brought in billions of pesos for new equipment, training, and technology. Fighter jets, naval frigates, drones, and armored vehicles are now in service. The Philippine Air Force now operates FA-50 fighter jets. The Navy has guided missile-capable warships. The Army is investing in battlefield communications, cyber defense, and more. More importantly, training has improved. Joint exercises with the United States, Japan, and Australia have raised the military's tactical capabilities. This is not about copying other countries. It's about building a force that can defend its people, support allies, and respond to modern threats. Chapter 7. Serving Beyond the Battlefield. Filipino soldiers do much more than fight. They serve their communities in times of crisis. Whenever a typhoon hits or an earthquake strikes, it is often the military that arrives first. They clear roads, deliver relief goods, and evacuate families. Their helicopters drop food on mountain villages. Their boats rescue people from flooded towns. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the armed forces helped deliver vaccines, enforce lockdowns, and transport medical supplies across islands. Soldiers acted as medics, drivers, guards, and relief workers. The Philippine military is not just about defense. It's a force of service and compassion. Chapter 8. Facing Challenges with Determination. The military has not been without problems. Corruption, underfunding, and political interference have all taken a toll. There have been procurement scandals. Some equipment arrived late or was not suited for the terrain. At times, troops lacked proper gear. Salaries have not always kept up with inflation. And yet, despite these issues, soldiers continue to serve. They walk for days to reach far-flung areas. They patrol dangerous mountains and islands. They protect towns at risk of ambush or invasion. Their determination speaks louder than any headline. Chapter 9. Standing Guard in Troubled Waters. Tensions in the West Philippine Sea have made the armed forces more critical than ever. Chinese ships continue to patrol areas that belong to the Philippines under international law. Artificial islands have been built. Naval confrontations have become more frequent. In response, the AFP has increased patrols, built coastal defense stations, and enhanced maritime awareness. With help from international partners, they are learning how to defend their territory without escalating into open war. The Philippines participates in joint drills like Balikatan, which improve coordination with allies. These exercises prepare the military for both natural disasters and security threats. The AFP understands that defending a country does not always mean going to war. Sometimes it means staying calm while standing firm. Chapter 10. A Fighting Force with Character. The Philippine military may not have the biggest weapons or the largest budget, but it has something rare in the modern world. It has grit, compassion, and experience in some of the most difficult terrains on Earth. These soldiers have fought guerrilla wars in the jungle, defended cities from terrorists, rescued families from floods, and guarded islands surrounded by tension. They adapt quickly. They learn fast. They keep going even when the odds are against them. They are not just warriors. They are survivors, leaders, and everyday heroes. So the next time someone asks about powerful militaries, remember the story of the Philippines. Think about the revolutionaries who faced down colonial powers, the guerrillas who fought the Japanese, the peacekeepers who stood their ground in Syria, the elite forces who battled ISIS in Marawi, the sailors patrolling contested waters, the soldiers handing out rice after a typhoon. This military may not make headlines every day, but it matters. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give the video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe for more stories like this. And check out the next video where we explore the most underrated Filipino inventions that changed the world. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.